Well, verifying live transition right there. And we'll wait until that says live. It's kind of a test. We'll see where my voice says and where it starts coming out on the YouTube channel as well. So we wanted to check that. But it still says verifying. That's a little unusual.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. A bit slow. Let's can't do anything while it's in that test mode. There it is, streaming live. So we're ready to go. Welcome to the Wild Cardinal Network. And this is Tony Madsen and Jerry Marlowe out here live at the new stadium this evening, as we are just out to just kind of talk about the Wild Cardinal Network and the opportunities for sponsorships next fall as we go into the inaugural season at for the Wild Cardinal Network here at the new stadium. And as we get going, again, it's Jerry Marlowe and I, and good to have you with us. It's Sunday, May 19th. We are exactly 89 days away from the Jamboree here on Friday, August 16th.
89 days away. First broadcast of the season right here. We are a little early. We're setting up ready for them to show up, aren't we?
We are.
We're ready. Where's the football team? No.
But we've got the stands. If you notice in the background here, they're just coming in. They're waiting for the special red seats to become available. And so we're out here just to kind of talk about the Wild Cardinal Network. But let's give you some highlights from last season. Cool history
It was. We were
for
in the
the
park that night.
football program that night. That's for sure. But we wanted to bring you here and show you just a couple of things about the Wild Cardinal Network and the opportunities that we have next year. What you're looking at there is a shot at my computer screen, and we're just got a little bit of a slideshow to put up for you and talk about the Wild Cardinal Network and the opportunities coming up next fall for anybody out there that's interested in that. The Wild Cardinal Network, of course, is covering the Cardinal athletics, and we got to give a shout out to Coach Ashlyn.
Oh, yes. Coach Ash is doing a great job with her Facebook pages, Instagram pages for all the athletics. She's doing a great job for that. If you want anything, if you want to know, you should join and subscribe to that or follow the St. Michael Cardinal Athletics Facebook page that they're trying to pull all the athletics into that one page so you can get all your information at one shot. Coach
And
Ash is doing a
that
great
picture
job.
right there is from Coach Ash and her Facebook page. And we're going to join together with the Wild Cardinal Network and the athletics. And that will be our Wild Cardinal Network inaugural broadcast season, the 2024 St. Michael football season. And you can be a YouTube sponsor.
And I got to say something. I know Mr. Tony's got this thing and we're lined out, but just sitting here listening to Mr. Tony talk and saying the Wild Cardinal Network and showing what we're showing, um,
We've come a long way. Let's
Yeah,
talk about that.
that's what I was trying to get to. We've come a long way, just sitting back quite a few years ago and having fun with the guys like Billy Lankford, Robin Rockstall, me, we're all sitting around and we're coming up with things and we're playing and we're having fun and we kept coming to the Wild Cardinal Network and it's just evolved and now here we are. We're about to be what do you call it? Big time for us,
It is big time for us.
So
But let's look at that for just a second. As far as let's congratulate Coles, Murphy, and Glover, the first official sponsor of the Wild Cardinal Network.
exactly.
And
They
they are also going to be our halftime sponsor as well. There's special opportunities there as well. We have your normal sponsorship, which will get you 30-second ads during the pregame and halftime and postgame shows, and then you'll have 15-second ads during in-game breaks as well. We do have the post-game sponsor is still available. We have a pregame sponsor and the halftime sponsor and Coles Murphy Glovers. The post-game sponsor, while maybe not as what do I
Oh,
want to say?
you use the word you used. I like sexy.
Maybe not as sexy as the pregame sponsor, but we're gonna take the postgame show and we're gonna make it the out of walking out of the parking lot thing to hear for everybody,
Because
all the
what you're going to
Cardinal
give, you're
fans.
going to give them like highlights. You're going to give
Highlights,
scores from around the
break down
region.
the game. We're going to
Yeah.
interview Coach Rivers, hopefully right after the game, as and have his comments, and then of course we'll go over the region scores. What
Mm,
is going on in the region? How our playoff prospects are coming into play, and our road to the playoffs. How we're going to get there. That kind of thing. So we're going to make our post-game show an informative show that everybody's going to want to listen to. So certainly one of the best sponsorships you can still get. And then one more thing. There's one other special thing that the first inaugural season. What's that, Jerry? The
what the
logo.
oh the you mean
You will be able to put your
oh your logo yeah,
thumbnail
that's new because we've always just been audio. We hadn't done that. We're talking about putting the
thumbnail image
yeah your thumbnail image. Like if your company wants to have that have that game, the thumbnail image that'll always show up on the YouTube channel anytime it goes back and watch, just like that T.R. Miller game.
right now. The
Got
bottom right of
2.2
your screen. There's a wild cardinal or there's a cardinal logo.
logo. Yes, and you can have your logo on that game for sponsoring that game for as little as $350, I think, but it'll be there forever. It'll be
That's the other thing. The point is these ads that we'll be making, and let's break down the ads. First of all, when we talk about 30-second ads and 15-second ads, if you want to be a sponsor, if you want to bring your ad, if you've got a prepackaged, professionally made ad that you already put on the radio or something like that, bring it to us. We'd be happy to use it.
exactly.
If you want to use the students to help produce and put their voice to your ad, we'd love to help you do that as well. We'll be putting that together over the summer with the students that come into Jerry's broadcasting class next fall. So we'll look forward to
And
that
if
as
you have
well.
somebody that you want to do it, like if you have somebody you want to, we can bring them in the studio. Me and Mr. Tony, we've been building with the students a studio room up there. We can bring you in and we can run the audios and commercials and do it right there. We've been practicing all semester long, and we're getting better every day. We are getting better every day. That's I just love all this. It's just so much to take in, and we're moving so far and fast, and this is wonderful. I
Right
just
now, we've got, as far as our equipment set up and what you'd be getting for a sponsorship, we've got 2 cameras set up right here. Actually, 3 when you include the Mevo, and so we can go into different places. And the software we use is a Huddle product. It's a very nice professional broadcasting software. You're looking at my screen right there. We can run 4 cameras in, and then we can add another computer to it. We can run up to 8 cameras plus a picture-in-picture for the scoreboard. So we're going to be doing as professional of a show as we can. And we want you as sponsors to grow with us. That's something that we're going to be doing. We're going to, just like a coach, it coaches any team.
mm-hmm,
Some years you get a lot of linebackers.
exactly.
Some years you get a lot of running backs. Some years are a little bit short on cornerbacks, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. So every year our crew is going to be different, and that's so you'll grow with us as we go throughout the season as
And
well.
that's sort of the beauty of it too. It doesn't just limit itself to
Now, I
what we're
just threw
doing.
up on the screen. This is the
Yeah.
actual game itself. If I can explain it to you just real briefly, here is every segment of our show. If you notice right up there, the first 30 seconds is a WCN intro. It'd be a pre-recorded, produced by the students' introduction into the game. We have a 3-minute pregame, which would be a sponsor. We'd live read that sponsor at that point in time. We'd intro the game. There'd be a break, and then the head coach interview. Then we'd go into our second, we call it pregame B, which will go into stats, region summary. We'll look over the arena. How's the weather? How's the players tonight? What's the mood out on the out in the field tonight? That kind of thing. We have then a break and then into pregame C. We'll go into more game intro. We'll go into more stats, the lineup of what's coming up tonight, that kind of thing. And then finally, if you notice, each one of those red things is a break, and that's where your sponsorship will be. Pre-game's 3 minutes.
Not
Halftime,
just your audio, but your visual too, your
visual
company
as well.
logo. That's
Company
exactly right.
logo, all that good stuff. And then halftime, again, we've got a sponsor live read, we've got introductions, we've got interviews, highlights, segue into the on-air team towards the end of the broadcast. And then down at the bottom there is just talking about the breaks during the games itself. Or I'm sorry, that's the post-game.
Mm-hmm.
The least sexy of the post-game show there. But that is where we're going to have our sponsor live read. Again, if you sponsor that, our game summary, the coaches take, and our broadcast is going to begin and end with the St. Michael prayer.
Yep. St. Michael defend us.
The one thing that we will add, as far as here is the positions of the cameras. When we're at home, we're hoping to have an 11-person crew. Now that sounds like a little bit at first, but ESPN, if they put on a show, they have about a 50-person crew. But we're going to do about 11-person crew. That's 5 people on the camera. We're going to hopefully have 5 cameras, 2 at the midfield, 2 in the end zones, and then a roving camera along with a roving reporter. That's 6 people right there. And then you're going to have 5 more people in the production booth itself, your play-by-play man, your color man, and then your analytical guy or the stats guy. They're going to be on the microphone, and then you've got a producer and an engineer for an 11-person crew.
Well, before you go any further, I got to give a shout out. I missed the name earlier when we were talking, and you got to the cameras. And I got to give props to Mr. Joe Boss for the past 4 or 5 years. I mean, he's made it to every game, helped set up the cameras that we've used for the coaches view, for the YouTube view, and helped set up the end zone view for me for the coaches. And Joe Boss has done a ton with that. We're hoping he's going to be on board with us. He told me he was going to be on board this year, another part of our crew this year. But if it wasn't for Joe manning the cameras and helping with the technical work, we wouldn't have gotten this far today. And I just want to give him a shout out on that. We're talking about that 11-man crew because a lot of that's been done by just a few people over the years. But now we're branching out and we're really making it move forward.
It has. We're glad that he's going to help us out as
Yep.
well. That's just awesome. He's got a lot of experience.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, already brought or taping the broadcast for us or the games for us. So that's
Yes.
awesome that he's
Mm-hmm.
coming along with that. So, and back to the 11-person crew. When we travel, we do have something unique in the fact that we are dealing with high school students.
Yes.
And when we travel, it may be difficult for us to put together an 11-person crew with just the students out of the class because you got to realize sometimes one of those students has a girlfriend who's a volleyball player and she's playing Bayside the same night we're going to Bruton, and he's just not coming to Bruton no matter what.
Exactly.
And that's going to happen more times than not throughout the season. We understand that. One thing, we were at the baccalaureate mass the other night.
Exactly.
Father Steve, one of his messages was have fun. He told them how to have fun and everything like that. But we're all for that as well. This is their high school career. We're not asking them to,
Give up everything.
give up everything. However, you realize when a football player goes out for football,
That's
he
right.
commits from game 1 through game 11.
Exactly.
We're hoping that we have students that help make that kind of commitment as well. But we understand that that's not always the case. So we're going to have a special opportunity. Jerry and I we're going to go out to family nights this fall when they're practicing, do some live podcasting every Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
And during those family nights, we're going to be asking parents out there if you've got, or it doesn't necessarily have to be a parent, but if you're planning on going to all the away games, if you're interested in seeing the game in a really special way and volunteering to be a camera operator for us, That would be awesome. We're not asking for an 11 game commitment or anything like that. If you just sign up, we'll help you. We'll show you a couple videos about how to actually set the plays and keep the plays in your frame and all that good stuff. And it's a really unique way to see a game. And if you volunteered to do that, we would ask you just for one game. Throughout those, we've got 6 games we have to travel to. And so
Exactly.
that'll just help us keep a nice big crew going as we travel up to Bruton. We travel over to Satsuma, I believe,
Hmm.
and places like that. So if we can keep as many people, as close to 11 people as possible, that's what we'll be looking for as far as volunteers. And anybody out there, you want to volunteer to help, you don't have to be, like I said, a parent of a football player or anything like that. And it's really a unique way to see the
It
game.
is. It is. It's a great way to see the game, and not just to see the game, to hear the game. When you're down in the end zone and you're listening, they're driving for a touchdown. Just to hear the boys' voices, and you're doing that film. When I was on the end zone filming that for the coaches and for the YouTube channel, I mean, you got to hear. You were right there at it. And it was just a whole different view. You know, watching them come through the line, watch the pass come across. That was awesome. It's
Let's do it. Let's do a shout out. Who gave us the headsets? The money for the headsets.
Oh, that's right. So and not just the headsets. They gave us some for other stuff too. We bought for the mics for the podcast room, but the Cardinal Booster Club and the St. Michael PTO. They asked for grants for what would you need, what could you use for your to move forward, and we put that out in the Cardinal Booster Club and the St. Michael PTO. We couldn't be more thankful for them. They each donated $1,000 apiece. We were able to buy headsets that are camera headsets for all our camera people to talk to each other and talk to the broadcast room while we're broadcasting so we can get the best shots, make sure we're doing the right thing. But those camera headsets are awesome. We've already been using them, and we started using them at the basketball season. We moved over to that to practice with them. And then the other part of that we were able to buy was microphones and um,
Headphones
headphones
for the studio.
for the broadcast studio we have inside the school, which you'll see some of that coming up as we start utilizing that. But and we've been utilizing it. Actually, funny thing, I made the my class this semester. Their final was they had to do a podcast interview in the broadcast room with all the equipment, and we're down to our last four. Mr. Tony's been helping with that, and that's always good. And we'll post some of those, but. I can't thank enough the Cardinal Booster Club and the St. Michael PTO for believing in us enough to give us the opportunity, to give us some money, to get us more equipment, so that we can keep moving forward. And that's what's just the best thing about it.
And that's huge, actually. When we talk about a unique way to see the show, we're going to include our camera people in the show. Those
Exactly.
headsets will be able to listen to the camera people as they're talking back and forth, and we'll actually include them in our show. In the pregame show, we're going to get the feel from the field from our camera people and things such as that. So the headsets are just an awesome addition to the broadcast.
And all this actually goes back to what me and Mr. Tony and everybody else, Joe, Robin, Billy Lankford, is all about including the students in this. And that's what we first and foremost are trying to do, and get them so they can learn a little something, just as we're learning something every day. Every
Yep.
day we're learning something new with this. And we're trying to bring the students on, and we got a great opportunity being boots on the ground now. First, like moving to our stadium now. This
Yep.
is it, and that's what's a huge thing. That
That's
just can't
that's our
thank
number
enough.
one goal. I threw up here, Jerry,
Uh
the
huh.
WCN St. Michael broadcast guidelines, and
Yes.
that's as far as our goal there. Our number one goal is teaching students about broadcasting and streaming, and giving them the experiences they need to be successful. And
Exactly.
this is just another experience as far as the St. Michael experience for these students. But I think it's a fantastic one. But what we will be doing is we will be pushing professionalism. We will be coaching these kids to be as professional as possible. Also, the awareness that this is a Catholic high school game. We want to, have those same tone and values that St. Michael aspires to do. We want that in our broadcast, and we want that in the people that are going to be helping us broadcast as well. We want respect to both the players, the fans, the referees, even if they make a bad call, the opposing fans, even if they yell at you. We're going to act with grace and poise.
And with that, just thinking about that, when we're broadcasting, and we are broadcasting at St. Michael, um, it's not just local. It's not just across the state. and not just across the United States. Anybody that can get onto the internet, that can get to the YouTube channel, you don't even have to subscribe, although we want the subscribers. All you got to do is get there and click on it, and you can be watching. You know, soccer this past time, the Duchesnes were over in France. Etienne's family was able to watch soccer games that we
That's
were
right.
and
That's
what do you
right.
call it, broadcasting on the YouTube channel, and that'll be the same way here. But with the football season, what we're doing new is we're adding the sponsorship opportunities. But being able to broadcast on a global reach would be is really it's really amazing. And you know, if you sponsor with us, you know, you're going to see people from all over the world going to see your ad. We want it locally. We want the people here, and they are going to watch it. But it's just going out to everybody. So if you got family and friends from anywhere, they're going to be able to see this. And from our own stadium. It's funny. I'm sitting right here watching. Me and Mr. Tony are at the on the home side at the bottom of the bleachers, right in front of where the St. Michael football team. You know, the players will be Coach Rivers, Coach Cortopassi, Coach Dupre, Coach Lopez, Coach. Nolan, all those coaches will be running up and down the sideline right here. And I'm looking out, and I can see between the field house and the gym the St. Michael statue, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. But somebody had come out in their cap and gown in red and was taking pictures out there just a second ago. I thought, I was like, wow. But I mean, we're on a great campus. And I know Mr. Tony, he's got a great shot of the press box, which is where we're going to be. We've got our own press box. There's going to be a Wild Cardinal Network room right up there, and we're going to be putting your ads out on YouTube for this on the Wild Cardinal Network. Your audio ads, your visual ads, we're putting all that out for everybody to see. But Mr. Tony went back to being the awareness. We want to try to make sure people are aware. We are a Catholic school, and we do have some things we have to represent. You know. But what was that other stuff you had on there about the? You had what was that?
Oh, pull it up again.
Yeah, I want to see that other, like that tenor and feel. I love that how you talked about that, your tone and your words, how they should convey the values of the school's motto. Uh, and that's another thing too. Dr. Williamson added something to the motto this year with their new insignia and logo we just did. That's right, professionalism and respect, and just be in preparation because. There they are. And look, Mr. Tony, right there in the parking lot. There's some more. They're getting a picture made at the parking spot, it looks like right now. So it's just funny to watch out here. But you're going to get to hear a whole host of things from our broadcast, and like Mr. Tony's about to roll over to the. Those are the guidelines that we're following because we're always trying to be respectful, and it's almost like family. A lot of the people that we're talking to, who are being sponsored, who've already inquired about being sponsors already, you know, well, we've grown up with them here in the Catholic Church. We've grown up here within the community. We know them, and we know what quality they're putting out for what jobs they're doing, and how they're just they're all in with us in St. Michael. So,
The last thing to really point out is we need to know our audience,
mm-hmm.
and our audience is grandma, grandpa, Uncle
Yeah,
Bill,
yeah,
and Aunt Ida, and they're up in different places in the state
yep,
and are in the country or maybe traveling, and they get an opportunity to see their grandson, their nephew, their niece, or
mm-hmm.
their son playing out in the field. We're going to talk to the cheerleaders as well, so we get an opportunity to really get everybody involved in the event itself. That is the Friday Night Lights out here at St. Michael campus, which
Exactly.
is going to be awesome.
And like what you just said about that, you know, all our broadcasts we've been doing when we were doing basketball, we heard from the Callahan family in Atlanta who loved watching it. Football, of course, and not just football, but wrestling. When you were doing the wrestling broadcast, the Sella family out in California, who
Phone, yeah,
that they were all
yep.
into it because one of the Sella boys was wrestling, and then the other ones were playing football. So reaching all those family members and bringing them close to home because we know we're going to pack the stands, and that's great. But
And
we're trying to
you
reach.
know who's not watching? The people in the stands.
That's right. They're not
So they're not
watching. They're
watching our
not watching
Utah
us.
broadcast.
But we want to bring the eyes and ears of the football. We want to bring the broadcast to you and give you the feel of what's happening, so you
Now,
hear it.
the great thing about YouTube is the people in the stands, they can watch it tomorrow.
That's exactly
You
right.
know, they can go home and they can watch it that night.
That's
Put it
exactly
on the
right.
big screen TV,
That's
pulled
exactly.
up to YouTube. We're using high definition cameras. We're going to have a camera on each end of the press box top up
Mm-hmm.
there at about the 40-yard line, plus the end zone cameras, all high def cameras. So far, we have 3 out of the 5 cameras. So we're growing. We're working. We've got 89 days to get there. So,
Hey, well, 89 days. I know what's next on your list. It's the schedule. What's that schedule look like for next year?
well, let's take a look at that. Now, you remember August 16th is the Jamboree.
Exactly.
And then Bayside Academy,
Well, who's the Jamboree against?
Elma
Is
Bryant.
Alma Bryant. So the Jamboree will be here. Alma Bryant will be here. And that Jamboree game, it's just so people know, it's not like a regular ball game. Now, we're going to broadcast and do everything we're doing to bring it to you. But that Alma Bryant game, they might, they may play the varsity the first half. They may play the special teams in a quarter or something like that because we've done that before. But the Jamboree game will be a great time to come out and look. But the first official game,
It's August 30th. You know if I've got it circled there.
well, here it's August 30th.
Now, the
Yeah.
first official game is Bayside, yes, but the first home game here at the new stadium is now. There's a dedication, I think, like August. Uh, I thought I saw it on the calendar. It's like the week before the Jamboree.
Oh,
There's a
okay.
dedication out here for the field.
Well, we'll be here for that for sure.
Well, we'll have podcasts in place before
Yeah.
that happens. But then we have John Carroll at home. We go to W.S. Neal. We go to Satsuma, home for Escambia County. We have a little break right there in the middle of the season. That's unusual.
Hmm.
If you remember,
Yeah.
in the last few seasons we have not. But instead, we're going to play into November. If you notice, November 1st at UMS Wright to end the season.
And look, we'll have Jackson at home here. Man, that's going to be a big game too. They'll come down. That's been back and forth. Pensacola, Mobile Christian, Orange Beach.
Yep. Now they did have a realignment. Let's talk about that. The people there in that I have highlighted in yellow are part of our now region. Orange Beach, Mobile Christian is on there. No longer do we have to go to Wilcox County,
Oh,
as an
okay.
example. So we got
Okay.
Mobile Christian. Jackson is a region game, of course. Escambia County. We head up to Atmore will come here, I guess. And then Satsuma stays with us
Yep.
in Region 1. But W.S. Neal in East Bruton, no, they were with us last year as well. So
Hmm.
a little bit of realignment. We did lose Wilcox Central, and then Bayside is no longer in our region either.
Really?
Bayside, the August 23rd game is a non-region game.
But it's
Bayside went
important.
back down
It's
went
important.
back down to 3A.
Oh, did they?
They
Okay.
did. They moved back down to 3A.
Well, that's going to be a big game no matter what. It's a lot rivalry. It's been that way in all the sports that we broadcast: basketball, soccer, anything we've done, and that's a big one. There's that first one. That's that one Ash made it for us for the Wild Cardinal Network inaugural broadcast.
And that is my slideshow. So the rest is just looking at the field. We'll just take a couple of looks around the field here as far as our different cameras as the sun is setting. It's a Sunday night. We tried to do this Friday night and call it the Friday Night Lights, but the weather didn't help us. So we're doing our inaugural kind of a sponsor event here on a Sunday night. But make sure to email myself, Jerry Marlowe at the St. Michael School. You can go ahead and go online and get Jerry's email real easily. Remember that Facebook page by Coach Ashland.
Yeah,
So
a form
search
that you
for
can
yep.
fill out if you're interested in becoming one of our sponsors for the upcoming year. Like we said, we're going to do 15-second, 30-second spots during the breaks in the game, which are like halftime, quarters,
There is
injuries.
a form, a Google form,
Yes.
and the link to that is in the Facebook announcement. You can get it through. How else can I get it?
Well, we sent it out on email. It's just sort of circulating. That's probably it. It's been on the Facebook page, that St. Michael Cardinal Athletics Facebook page. If you go there, you'll see that link she had, and we're going to send it out regularly until we fill all our sponsor spots. Now we've got a feeling that we are going to possibly have we're going to fill up quick. And it's just going to be, there's only so much time in the game.
That's
There's only
true.
so many sponsors you can take. And so once we hit that limit,
If we got 60 sponsors, you all only get one ad.
that's not what we're shooting for. Exactly right. So we've got about 7 people that have inquired. We've got 2 firmly committed. The other ones are thinking about it. And we're just going to keep rolling. We got a lot of time. But 89 days before the Jamboree game, this isn't our last time out here tonight. This is our first time. We're going to try to do this pretty regular for y'all. Come out here, show some more highlight clips, practice with some of our sponsor ads. We want to show you what we're doing with them so you'll get to see and get to hear what we're doing with the sponsors. Throw some more clips. Like Mr. Tony was talking about, that first set of clips was the younger guys, and so see what the games are. And we're about to start making memories on our own field. And we want you to be a part of that. We want you every time, because once we finish that broadcast for that football game, it's up on YouTube. You can go back and watch it. People can go back and watch it, and that's happened.
And we're not sweeping the ads. The
No,
ads stay
correct.
there.
That's a real important thing.
Three,
We're
four
not
years from now,
sweeping
you
the
can pull up your child's game. You can rewatch that game, and there will be your ad right there.
the
And
audio version and the visual version of that ad, and it'll be there through the breaks, and you'll get to see it. And the longevity of that is just like what Mr. Tony was talking about. That game he pulled up some of these clips from, that T.R. Miller game, had 2.2 thousand views on that thing, and it's steadily going up. One of the highest games we've had, and people go back and watch those games. I know the kids go back and watch them. I hear stories of our kids that are off at college that have watch parties sometime, and they'll pull up the old games on the YouTube channel. So before, we haven't had the opportunity to put ads with our broadcast, or have sponsors with our broadcast, but this year we do, and not just audio, but visual, and that's huge for us. And it couldn't have come without everybody working to get to this point. Last season, Mr. Tony helped us, jumped on board. Mr. Boss was doing the filming. Tony provided the mixing board. We brought in people like Coach Daughtry to help. We brought in our students to help. I think Corey Helper helped a couple of times when we were at games and we were broadcasting. But we didn't have the sponsorship opportunities, but this year we do. And that's why we want to highlight our community, the people who are closest to us, the people who want to be a part of our community, and so that they can have oh, and you see the setup right there. Mr. Tony's got the setup going. That's just
this is
this
kind
is
of our
our
travel
travel
setup.
setup.
Yep.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
Our travel setup. A lot of work goes into this, and we practiced all through when we decided to go with the sponsorship opportunity. We knew that during the basketball season, right after the football season, and if you saw some of the broadcasts in the gym, we were practicing and working out the kinks and the quirks. We rolled right that into wrestling. Mr. Tony made it out to a couple of the wrestling matches, and we were able to do that. And so we're not promising everything but football for the fall, but we're hoping we can add some volleyball in there. We're hoping we can add a wrestling match or two in there, and get some of those in there and utilize that. But what we're promising for sure is a football.
Yep.
You
We're going to
know,
work towards a basketball season and a wrestling, hopefully, kind of sponsorship. Just one or two
exactly,
sponsorships, because you don't have a lot of commercials, of course, during in-game breaks. Especially during wrestling, you have a lot of
exactly.
opportunity. But we're not going to overindulge either. We're not going to throw a
A
whole
whole
bunch of
bunch of
ads
stuff
on
at
top of you.
you.
And every time there's a takedown, somebody gets a shout out. That's not going to happen. So, um, but I do. One other thing I wanted to include is we will have a stat man,
Oh yeah,
and he will actually be inputting the stats into every game, and it should be exciting. It's called iScore, and if you go to iScore Central, you can download an app and you can stay on top of the stats right along with the gentleman who's going to be putting, or the person who's going to input these stats during the game. It's actually a very nice program. It gives you a nice little view of the game overview. You click on the player, and it gives you those players' stats. It's not available yet. The app is, but the games aren't available yet. We'll let you know when they are. But when that happens, that's going to be a real nice addition as well. And then we'll download those stats into Max Preps after we do a little game review of those stats then the next day as well. So we'll be able to talk about the players, the team, the stats, and how they're all coming together and how they compare to the other people in the region and things such as that. It's really an exciting time here at Wild Cardinal Network.
it is, and we're able to do it because we're gonna have we're gonna bring the people that love us the most along, sponsoring with us and helping us out as we move forward. And I'm so grateful we're able to do this. I mean, the sun is setting. I mean, what time is it right now? What time is it right now?
7:40.
7:40. So if a football game would have started at 7 o'clock, we'd be 40 minutes into that. We'd be almost at halftime. Uh, and this place would be going crazy. I mean, just think about what's going to be happening right here. And we want to bring all those people who can't make it to the game, we want to bring it to them. What we want them to experience it right off. And that's what we're hoping y'all can help us do.
All right. Well, we were hoping to do this for 30 minutes, and that's we've been doing it for 34, Jerry. We were
We
hoping
can
we'd be
talk.
long-winded enough, and somehow we were. I don't know how that came about, but we managed to fill it up. So there you have. There is opportunities to come along with the Wild Cardinal Network in the inaugural
Hey,
season.
we got one more highlight, don't we?
We do.
Yeah, let's don't leave them hanging. Let's give them a little bit of taste of what's going to come this fall.
Now, we do have a highlight to kind of end the show with,
Yep.
and I'll tell you, this is just about a 2 minute clip. And I took this away from the Bayside game. And you know why I chose that game is because we had a lot of young players really stand out in that game, like Nick Russo, Tucker Tomlinson, of
Mm-hmm.
course, Gunnar Rivers, Brody
Brody
Jones,
Jones. Yep.
and that. So let's take a quick look at that to end.
On the St. Michael YouTube channel on the Wild Cardinal Network, and that's what we're hoping to do for you this year.
Thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back again hopefully next week. We'll try to announce that ahead of time for you so you can join us live. But remember, grow with us at the Wild Cardinal Network. You have opportunity here.
Good
Anything to
night.
add to that,
No,
Terry?
I just love it. Just it's a great feeling to be out here on the field, watching the sunset, seeing the school here behind the stands. This is a great opportunity and a great time for all of us, and we need to relish every moment of it.
Thank you for joining us. God bless. St. Michael, defend
Defend
us.
us. That stop the broadcast exactly.